Today, the first step towards a better you, having happy feet.
If your feet could speak, what do you think they would say?
Please put on a pair of thongs.
How to beat cholesterol, Australia's silent killer.
And the AFL legend who's helped raise $30 million for charity.
We never give up, we never give in, we give it all we've got.
Inspiration, smiles, advice and great food. We've got a show packed with all of that and much more.
And empower you to make better choices.
So let's all get well, stay well, live well and look fabulous right here in the House of Wellness.
The body. Enough teasing from you, thank you. I think I speak for all of us here when we say we're all abuzz about Michael Bublé. He'll be on this very couch very soon.
You know, I cannot wait for that. We have so much to get through. Firstly, Joe, very important topic today, breast cancer. We're going to explore that. And you have some scary statistics?
Look, there are some very scary statistics. Still, 8 people a day die from breast cancer, which is really, really sad. But there's some great news too, which is all about early detection. So I'm going to be introducing us all to one of Australia's most expert breast cancer doctors who can give some tips around early detection. It's really important. And we're going to meet some really inspirational women.
Fantastic stuff. Also, we're going to have a big discussion about cholesterol. That's coming up a little bit later as well. We've known about its dangers for half a century, haven't we, Gerald? It's still an issue.
And GQ, do you have something that's going to help Ed's Buble-itis?
I don't want to be cured.
Look,
Don't help me.
a lot of people, Zoe, would go to sleep with Michael, but I'm on the A to Z of vitamins. I'm going to be talking about some other solutions.
Okay.
Oh, very good.
Right.
Yeah.
By listening to his music, I think.
I didn't want to say which way. Anyway, we're also going to talk to you about your DNA and how it influences weight gain, weight loss.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
So interesting.
I was tested this week. My DNA.
Are you nervous?
Yeah, I'll get the results back in a minute.
Ooh. And Bianca, feet.
Yes.
You and feet?
Oh, I know. I didn't like having my feet on camera, but it's really important that we actually take time to look after our feet. Do you know we walk over 120,000 kilometres on our feet in our lifetime, which is like 3 times around the world.
Oh, no wonder we've got sore feet.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, let's take a look.
Let's talk about priorities. What's number 1 on your list of self-care? Is it your hair, your skin, your teeth? I'm going to take a guess that what's way down on that list is your feet. As a former professional netballer, I've put my feet through hell. On the court, having to dodge from side to side, jumping, having to stop really quickly without taking a step, let alone what I had to do at training. It's been downright foot torture. Just running means you are putting 3 times your body weight onto your feet. So jumping and stopping suddenly increases the stress enormously. I'm dropping in to visit Michelle Moyle, owner of Integrated Podiatry in South Yarra.
Did you ever get any ankle injuries?
Yep,
yeah,
definitely a lot of ankle
I was going to say, netball.
They're pretty restricted, aren't they?
Definitely.
A podiatrist is a university-trained health professional who specialises in treatment of feet. The first thing they usually do is conduct a general examination by studying your gait and flexibility. What do you think?
They're not too bad, actually.
What's something simple that people can do to check their feet?
Yeah, sure. So just looking at them every day. So things you might be looking for are how the nails are growing, if there's any thickening or discoloration to the nails, if there's any build-up of hard skin anywhere underneath or in between the toes, the general sort of shape of them as well, if there's any bumps or lumps that you're not sure of.
If your toes are heading in one direction, it might not be right.
That's right.
Now, the life of an athlete's foot is pretty tough, but it pales in comparison to what promo model and stiletto devotee Sandra puts her feet through every single day. Sandra, if your feet could speak, what do you think they would say?
At times, ouch. Please put on a pair of thongs.
Surely they hurt your feet though.
Look, there are times I am a promotional model, and so at a recent car event I walked 15 kilometres in a pair very similar to the pair.
15 kilometres?
15 kilometres, I've got a Fitbit so I could tell.
What are your thoughts on those?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't say they're the best shoes going around town. You're just putting all the weight through the balls of your feet. So you've got a lot of pressure going through this area of the foot. You've got some shortening of muscles, shortening of tendons, not to mention what's going on further up the body too.
And what about ballet dancers? Looks like more foot abuse in the name of entertainment. Megan was a professional ballerina through the late 80s and early 90s. These days, she does ballet to stay fit, sane and balanced.
Raw blisters, bleeding blisters, calluses. It was terrible. I even, at one stage, I think perhaps when I was about 14 or 15, resorted to soaking my feet in methylated spirits to toughen them up, because really you needed tough feet to get through, standard point work class and obviously then performing.
Our feet are unsung heroes that work hard and almost never complain. So why not think of your podiatrist as someone who you visit every year to keep your feet happy and avoid having a blowout? If your feet could talk, what would they say?
They would probably say, maybe spend a little bit more time looking at me too.
Yes, that's a very good answer.
Oh, this is the most relaxing way to watch one of your stories, Bianca. And I think we've learnt one thing. Our stiletto-wearing days need to be curtailed.
No more, Ed, no more. We need to look after our feet, and that's why we've got Jill and Lucy here doing some reflexology.
Hi, ladies. What is reflexology, and what are you doing to me digging into my feet like this?
I'm working on your neck, which is very congested and crunchy.
Right.
But we work on the premise that your feet reflect the whole body. So by working areas of the feet, we can bring about balance and change to the rest of you. We see a map.
Take us through the map of the feet, how it reflects with my body. Big toe is my big head.
Your head, your spine runs down there.
Yes.
Shoulders along here, neck around there, ears here. You've got eye and ear helper toes along here.
Really?
So it's covering everything.
Isn't that fascinating? Now, by manipulating my feet, can you help with the organs, with the head, with the neck and the ears?
You fix everything.
It's like a service. You drive a car, you put good oil, water, fuel, tyres, but what do you do for yourself? Nothing. You've got one pair of feet, they've got to last you a lifetime.
Astonishing. I love that the expert in your story said, get out there, get barefoot, get in touch with the ground often and sort of reconnect.
That's exactly right. And because of that, we wear the same shoes all the time, especially if it's high heels. All the pressure goes to certain parts of your feet and we never take time to look after them.
No.
Well, feel free to dig in. I mean, is there any sort of red flag area that you feel through my toes that's saying something's wrong with me? Be nice.
No, but you've got a very busy head. You need to relax, take some time to chill.
This is a big
Trying
toe.
to learn his lines.
Yeah. My big toe's got a very big brain.
And neck and shoulders, you need to do a bit of,
Okay, fantastic stuff.
shaking it off.
I feel great.
Hands down, or feet down, best story ever.
Oh, thanks.
Happy feet, happy life. Thank you, ladies. Reflexology, a nice way to make sure your body gets back in sync and in tune.
Yeah.
Just go a bit easier, will you? I'm going to put some shoes and socks on. We'll be back after the break. Thank you, ladies. Stay with us. There's still more to come on the House of Wellness.
Stay with us. He's here, just arriving, is Michael Bublé in the house. And he'll be with us later. Plenty to come still after the break, here on the House of Wellness. It's big topic time again, and today it's cholesterol. Cholesterol is an essential type of fat that's carried in the blood, and unless you're vegan, cholesterol is part of your diet. Our bodies create 75% of our total cholesterol levels, with 25% coming from the fats we eat. According to Australian guidelines, if your cholesterol levels are between 4 and 5.5, you're in good nick. However, a total cholesterol level of 5.5 or more means you have an increased risk of cardiovascular disease.
I'm Kate Benny and I live in Boona in Queensland. In January 2017, I was 39 years of age and I thought I'd better go and get a checkup with the doctor because I was getting closer to 40. Surprisingly, my total cholesterol was 10.4. So the doctor pointed out that I did have a really strong hereditary history and that it quite possibly was genetic. I cut out completely processed carbohydrates and increased the healthy fats in my diet, increased my exercise, and also I started intermittent fasting. The cholesterol HDL ratio came down from over 10 to 4.9. So still a bit high, but not probably not, worried about having a heart attack every second of the day.
Just fascinating,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes.
Because she looks so healthy, and we're talking about high cholesterol. Let's start with you, Dr. Nick Fuller. You are an obesity expert. You can have high cholesterol and not even know it.
Yeah, but it's not all doom and gloom when it comes to cholesterol. We actually need this to survive. We use it to make cells and hormones in the body.
Right.
But there's two main types. There's the LDL cholesterol. This is the bad cholesterol. This is the one that goes to our arteries, blocks them up over time. And then there's the HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol, the one that actually goes to the arteries, takes that bad stuff back to the liver for removal.
Okay, so we say bad cholesterol, high cholesterol. There's so much fear-mongering with cholesterol, GQ. Why?
I don't know, Zoe. We hear that cholesterol's the killer, but cardiovascular disease is the killer.
And one doesn't equal the other?
Well, one is part of the other. So we look at cholesterol, but there's blood pressure, there's triglycerides, there's a whole lot of other things that are all part of this cardiovascular risk. I'm on cholesterol's side. I think it's unfair to pick on cholesterol as badly and as
cholesterol's side.
as focused as we are.
High LDL cholesterol is certainly a risk factor, though, for heart disease.
There you
and
go.
This is the thing that's killing us. It's the biggest killer in Australia. We're having a heart attack every 12 minutes.
Are we really?
We are. Someone is dying from heart disease every 10 minutes.
And high cholesterol can mean...
One of the things.
Okay, you guys...
Are we
coming? Okay,
one of the things.
Okay, so Jaime Rose-Chambers, you are a dietitian and nutritionist, another expert on high cholesterol. What can we eat? What should we be avoiding?
So the foods that we know can help reduce cholesterol are things like soluble fibre, so oats, oat bran, fruits like apples, berries.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because the oats, what do? They have something in them that makes the cholesterol balanced?
No, what they do is they have a particular type of fibre called soluble fibre, which sort of disintegrates in the bowels and kind of creates a gel that causes cholesterol to be sort of mopped up and flushed out of our system.
Okay. Other good foods?
What was interesting in that story, though, Jaime, was that Kate, the first thing she did was move away from processed carbs. I think that's what she said.
Absolutely,
Now, we've been blaming fat for 30 years.
Well, she said
How unfair is that?
And she said she amped up the healthy fats.
That's right.
So can we discuss healthy fats?
Of course. So healthy fats are pretty much overall fats that come from plants aside from tropical fats such as coconut and palm oil. So think extra virgin olive oil is absolutely sensational. Nuts like almonds and walnuts are great. Avocado, things like that.
Oily fish?
Absolutely oily fish.
That will help bring down cholesterol.
That's exactly right.
Bring down the bad cholesterol. Remember, we want the LDL to be low, the HDL to be high. And just by exercising, you can actually improve the good cholesterol.
Sure.
You can improve the ratio.
So exercise makes it better?
Exercise makes it better. It actually takes the high density lipoprotein, the HDL cholesterol up, and those food swaps, the one simple one being, get your oats in the morning, that soluble fibre will lower your LDL cholesterol.
And Nick, I spend time explaining to people the difference between not just the good and bad, but actually this total cholesterol, the TC they see, and they spin out, oh dear, I'm going to die in a week. Now that's ridiculous because it's all about lipid profile, surely.
It is about the
why
ratio.
Why don't we check
from your HDL to LDL? We do want our total cholesterol still to be, lower, because at the moment 1 in 3 have high cholesterol. Above 6 it's high, and we want it really to be down towards less than 4, but we still need to focus on the ratio. That's the most important thing.
So how are we doing this? With a test? Is it blood test work?
Test, a simple visit to your GP. If you're over the age of 40 and you haven't had it tested in a few years, you need to get checked, because you're more than likely one of those 1 in 3 that has high cholesterol, and you're more likely to have it you're probably 2 in 3 have it when it's the 45 to 65-year age bracket.
Thank you all for helping share your knowledge. We'll be right here after the break. Coming up, we meet a sports hero who, despite his illness, has dedicated his life to saving lives.
But next, we're making healthy snacks in the kitchen, our very own protein bars.
We're in the kitchen here on the House of Wellness. Welcome back. Here is a disturbing statistic. Every day in Australia, 50 people learn they have breast cancer, most of them women. In fact, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer at some stage of their life.
They're huge numbers, aren't they, Zoe? So it is critical that we are informed for our own health. So I met with one of Australia's breast cancer experts, as well as an inspirational woman who is not just a breast cancer survivor, she's a thriver.
This is Gina, and what she's about to share with us is heartbreakingly all too common for Australian women.
I was a happy mum with 2 beautiful children, and then my life was turned upside down. I went to take my bra off and I felt a lump. I felt utterly devastated.
Breast cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in Australian women, with 50 women a day diagnosed with the disease. And very tragically, the incidence is on the rise, and 8 people a day will die of breast cancer. But the good news is, with early detection, if you know what to look for, your chances of survival are good. And with advances in technology and treatments, those chances are getting better every day. Back in the 80s, the likelihood of surviving breast cancer for at least 5 years was about 70%. These days, the chance of survival is around 90%. And according to Associate Professor Jean Lim, there are 2 main reasons for that.
Number 1, the advent of routine screening, and secondly, better treatments.
Early detection is critical to survival.
With early detection, the hope is to actually pick up the breast cancer when it's small. The more time we let a cancer grow, the higher the risk of the cancer actually spreading to another part of the body. And unfortunately, once it spread past the lymph nodes into the organs or the bone, that makes the cancer incurable.
Dr. Lim also recommends mammograms and frequent breast examination by your doctor.
Certainly from the age of 50 and up, I would recommend a mammogram every 2 years, and also to be examined by their GP, once to twice a year.
And for women of any age, regular self-examination using the right technique, preferably taught by your doctor, may also help early detection.
So when I examine a patient, do a breast examination on a patient, I start on one end, I work down and then up and then down again, and then covering the entire breast in the process.
So if I'm being aware of my breasts and any changes, what should I look out for?
Lumps and bumps. It could be some skin changes. It could be some changes to the nipple. It could be an abnormal discharge from the nipple.
For breast cancer survivor Gina Giorgio, self-detection back in 2010 saved her life.
I was diagnosed with a second cancer of my left breast, and that led to another breast being removed. So I've effectively had a bilateral mastectomy. I left the hospital after my surgeries with socks stuffed into my old bras.
Like most women who lose one or both breasts to breast cancer, Gina really struggled to regain her sense of femininity and to feel good in her clothes again, until a chance meeting with Lily DeSantis, who runs a mobile breast prosthesis and bra fitting service.
This is one that can actually go towards under the arm or the other way round, depending on the shape of the surgical site.
This is very technical, isn't it?
It is very, very medical and technical. My service is called Lily Bliss to You. It is a mobile fitting service for women post-breast cancer, whereby I visit them in their home by appointment to fit them for bras and breast prosthesis and other specialty items that may be required.
Lily was working at a department store when Gina came in looking for prosthesis and bras after her double mastectomy.
Lily is utterly professional. She's very discreet. Her vehicles don't claim any advertising, so no one would know what she's doing. She knows her job. She's very educated in the field, and I can't say enough.
Lily's service often has a dramatic effect on her clients.
When I met Lily and she gave me all of this, I didn't feel so scarred. We're so proud to have someone like Lily. It's changed our life, and forget our breast cancer ordeal altogether. That's a thing of the past.
It's reassuring to know that because of early detection and improved treatment, our chances of surviving breast cancer are good. But what's also wonderful is to discover this beautiful network of women supporting each other so that they're not just surviving, they're thriving.
Such a gorgeous story. So close to so many of our hearts. My mum passed very young, about 12 years ago. She passed away from breast cancer. And I've become super vigilant about checking. I check once a year, but now seeing Dr. Lim explain, maybe that's fine.
Oh, it's not too much. I think for women who have got a family history, he did recommend 6 to 12 months. Keep checking. Absolutely, you're doing the right thing. And we need to know, for those of us who don't have the family history, you can continue to self-check and get your GP to do it.
What we do want to have a look at is this incredible woman. This is Beck Lever. She is a nurse at the Chris O'Brien Lifehouse, which is a cancer hospital. A glorious mane of hair.
Spectacular.
Now, this is Beck getting the shave to support women in I guess, uniting with women that have to shave their heads. And this is her after. Beck joins us on the couch. Wow.
Hello.
Wow. You had a glorious mane.
Yeah.
Why?
We grouped together, there was 10 of us in the operating theatres at Lifehouse, and we raised money for the hospital.
Wow.
So we raised over $17,000 for the hospital.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and I think all of my team in the operating theatres, we just really believe in what we do, and it just supports the valuable equipment we need to service the people that we operate on.
Was it confronting for you as a woman with such a gorgeous, long mane to shave it off?
I really enjoyed having a shaved head. Yeah. It was such a invigorating, free feeling of just having.
And time consuming, right? Doing your hair.
Yeah.
It was free time.
Oh, mate, cut your hair. I can't even tell you. It's so good.
Absolutely.
But what a beautiful bonding thing that you have with your patients.
Yeah. I think a lot of patients that come into the Chris O'Brien Lifehouse probably have that sense and that feeling of a bond with the staff that work in the hospital. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you for donating your hair and shaving. It's such an amazing thing. And women, as I said, do it all over the country to raise funds. So check it out online. You can be a part of that too. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, it is time. Michael Bublé time. Joe, he's almost here.
Yes, he's on his way to the studio looking super cool.
Yes, he is. He's going to be here on the House of Wellness.
Today, we're making sugar-free protein snacks packed with nourishing goodness. Start by mixing extra virgin olive oil with pure honey and heat gently over a low flame. Mash 2 ripe bananas, then mix in almond meal, baking powder, blueberries, hemp seeds, rolled oats, probiotic breakfast smoothie powder, and the melted honey and oil. Spread the mixture into a lime pan and bake at 180 degrees or until golden brown.
Emphasis on the delicious there.
Yes.
How fantastic. We had the protein blueberry and banana breakfast bars using the BioGland's probiotic breakfast vanilla smoothie mix. That is a perfect combo for brekkie on the run, right?
Quick! Don't you just love to just grab and go?
Well, don't we often grab a little unhealthy option like a little muffin or something?
Maybe.
I'm pointing at me to go with the morning coffee. Anyway, you can knock up some of those. Just finding out how to make them, head to our website, houseofwellness.com.au. And we know those breakfast bars are good. Let's do even gooder. We say good day to you, Gerald.
Good word.
A to Z of vitamins time. We know when we take all our advice on the show and you exercise, your muscles are sometimes sore afterwards. Can you help us out?
We're going to talk today briefly on mighty magnesium.
I love it. My
Mighty
fave.
magnesium.
Yes.
Because so many people need magnesium, but until they actually get a cramp or a pain, they don't know.
Well, let's talk about the cramping muscles. Will something like this magnesium help aching, cramping, sore muscles, especially those ones in the middle of the night?
Within a very short time, Zoe. Often within a dose or two, you will get a result. So we talk children with growing pains as well. Magnesium with some calcium in there as well. So magnesium's usually accompanied by calcium.
What sort of dose are we looking at? Because it's hard to gauge, isn't it, depending on your soreness?
Well, and it's an individual thing. So you start with the dose recommended, and then once things are solved, start cutting it back because it's stored
It
in
can
bones.
upset your tummy.
Only if you have too much.
Yeah, don't have
and you
too
will
much.
know.
You will know.
Great sources in our blueberries, strawberries, oranges. Is that spinach?
Silver beet.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. It's
You don't know your greens, that's all right.
I don't. But a supplement's a great idea as well. And you sleep quite well too, don't you, with magnesium?
Yes, far more restful sleep.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Great tips as always. And the A to Z of vitamins brought to us by Swiss, Australia's #1 brand in vitamins and supplements. Now, if you're an AFL fan, you'll know the Danaher name, of course. Neil Danaher was a gifted young player, but serious knee problems curtailed his playing career. Now, instead of giving up on the game, Neil turned to coaching, where he found great success and inspiration, cracking the whip at Melbourne.
Yes, and a few years ago, a new problem knocked him around, motor neuron disease, or MND. And again, rather than just give up, Neil Danaher fought the condition head-on, creating the Fight MND organisation that has now raised more than $30 million
Incredible.
to battle this horrible disease. And that is why he is our house hero.
Hi, I'm Neil Danaher. I played with the football for Essendon, coached Melbourne. I've got motor neuron disease and I'm patron for Fight MND. I call the disease a beast. No treatment, no cure that leaves sufferers like me. Eventually unable to walk, unable to swallow, unable to breathe. But we want to fight it to ultimately find a treatment and cure. The events we run, like the Big Freeze at the MCG and Danaher's Drive, is all about getting the community involved, telling MND, up yours, we're going to get you, and we're going to have some fun doing it.
Incredible to see what you've been able to do, not only with footy, but with your life in general. You've been an amazing person.
The Danaher Drive is a car rally. It's a 4-day fun event. We do it every October, every year. Why don't you get on board next year in October? As an old coach, I always said, life's a team game. Our Fight MND supporters have been a great team. We have a saying, without you, we won't find a cure. And we have another saying, we never give up, we never give in, we give it all we've got.
He's so inspirational still. If you want to get behind the Danaher Drive, as you saw there, the details are on our website, houseofwellness.com.au.
Yes, as with many diseases, MND is sometimes passed along in a person's genes. Traditionally, it was always thought that if someone was genetically predisposed to suffer from a condition, there was little doctors could do about it.
Yeah, well, these days, DNA tests are allowing doctors to truly understand what our genes have in store for us. And one area that's really flourishing now with this new DNA analysis is early recognition of a person's tendency to gain weight and how that future can be avoided. It's fascinating. Joining us today to explain is Ambassador for My DNA and nutritionist Alex Pendlebury. Hello.
Hi. How are
I used to love getting the odd fracture and so on because I'd get an X-ray and I could peer inside myself.
Really?
It fascinated me. And now we can do that with our DNA. It's absolutely amazing, the technology. And it can actually show what effects our DNA will have with our diet and exercise, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Understanding your DNA can definitely tell you more about your weight and fitness. It can tell you about your appetite control, how well you burn fats, and even the type of exercise that will suit your body best.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's amazing.
Your DNA makeup can tell you if you're predisposed to being a fuller person versus a slimmer person?
Well, we all have the fat gene, or the FTO gene as it's called, but it's what variation of that gene you have that tells you more about it. About 15% of Aussies do have the variation of the gene where you might snack a little bit more or overeat, but if you do have that variation, you don't have to worry about it. It's just that if you do know you have that gene, you have to put measures in place to help you avoid it.
Is it like a light switch? We've all got the fat gene, as you say.
We
is
do,
it on or off, or is it a little bit on? It's got a bit of a dimmer.
Yes.
You know,
we use we've got a 3-stage system, so you might show a red result for that where you do have to watch out for your weight, orange or green.
And what about exercise? Is it always going to be helpful, say you've got that gene?
Well, we all need to exercise, but our testing can actually show you whether you're more suited to power or endurance type of exercise. It can tell you your injury risk, and it can even tell you how often you should work out.
Oh my gosh, I need to do this.
Now, earlier this week, Zoe, I had my DNA taken from my cheek. It was sent to the labs. I'm convinced they're making some sort of human cyborg combo who's also adorable from my DNA.
Of course they are.
You've got my results. Alex.
I do. So looking at your report, we'll start with your weight management.
Oh, okay.
And you do have the hunger switch in your brain doesn't work optimally. So you may feel hungry soon after a meal.
Okay, so that's the nutritional side. Is there info on my fitness profile as well?
Yep, sure. We'll move on to fitness. So you're actually an all-rounder, which means that you're suitable to both endurance and power exercise. Slightly skewed to the endurance side, so you could focus on that.
Is that right?
You could also do a bit of power exercise like weight training. It's a good complement.
You do?
I love that.
Fancy that.
Predisposed to it. And does it say I'll be any good, or is my time passed?
Yeah, it's over.
Okay. Fascinating stuff, Alex. Thank you for that.
No worries.
Isn't it amazing to get a close look at yourself down at an absolute genetic level?
I need to do that.
If you want more info, just head to our website to find out more, houseofwellness.com.au. You can find out where you can order your DNA test kits as well. Stay with us. We've got more after the break on the show, The House of Wellness.
And of course, we're beaming out right across the country on the 7 Network and the Prime Network. Mind, body and spirit, we've got you covered.
He's joining us shortly, ladies. That's right, Canadian crooner Michael Bublé is in the house, and he's got something for you.
We'll be back here after the break on the House of Wellness. Welcome back. Well, our next guest has been stealing the hearts of women all over the world. You thieving scoundrel with his crooning ballads.
This 4-time Grammy winner is here to talk about his music, family life and his new fragrance. It's Michael Bublé.
Yes.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Honestly, you've
Thank
been
you.
dazzling our senses. Our ears have enjoyed your crooning. Our eyes dazzled by your handsomeness. Fragrances now for our nose. If I could just reach out and touch you, that'd be one more.
That's we've only spent minutes together.
I know, thank you.
And I'm deeply in love with you already, both of you.
I mean, there's something special.
It's like your
about-
eyes are like a tractor beam.
You know what it
I
is?
have been sucked in, sir, and I never want to leave your arms ever.
Okay. If you could I just shift in there?
I'm feeling really awkward right now.
You're also...
I'm in
Please.
the wrong place.
This is classic stuff between Canadians and Aussies. Just we kind of get on, don't we? And it's about time you were back here.
I am so comfortable here, and I think that there's this wonderful way and this great sense of humor and this sense of kindness and compassion where you're not afraid to be yourselves. And I think it's, oh God, I feel too comfortable here.
I think we feel like Australians and Canadians are kind of similar.
Yeah.
Would that be true?
Oh, absolutely. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I think we are. So it's a reason why half my Canadian friends come here on like little visa work permit things and then never ever leave. And why so many of my Australian friends now, if you go to Whistler, it's called in Vancouver, just outside of Vancouver, it's a ski resort, and I will call down for breakfast if I stay there, and it's always hello. It's the first thing I hear. Hello. You know, it's this very. I know I sound like a didgeridoo when I do it, but
No, you do a good accent. I introduced myself to you. Hi,
I like
I'm
that you
Jo.
said hi, Joe.
Yes. Now, we are so excited about your new album, Love. It is your 8th album, but is there something... Why is that terrifying?
I just
You're looking
realised
at
how
me.
old I am.
Yeah.
Oh
it
my
is a
God,
way
really?
to date you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is there something special about this album, Love?
You know what? Every album, I think, is a snapshot of the experience you've been through, where you are and where you're going. And I think that this is... I don't think there's ever been a sort of a better example of that than this record. Obviously, I've gone through, my family have gone through, you know, an intense struggle, and when you're a public person, it also becomes public, and so to acknowledge it is the only possible way for anyone to understand how, you know, how much it impacts you and affects your life, and it would be impossible for it not to change my life. And so this record was really a way of me taking the experience and sort of finding a way to therapeutically put down on an acetate how I felt and my gratitude. I really, listen, the world is a crazy place, and everybody knows, everybody watching at home right now knows that it needs love, you know? It needs some baby-making music, and and I was really, I'm happy to be able to, I really am, I love this stuff a lot.
It's come along in a little bundle about 7 weeks ago, your new daughter. And please tell us, for everyone, that you're going to be the soccer dad trying to do the maths of getting 3 kids to sports across the weekend. Oh my gosh. Newborn little Vita.
Yeah, it's you know, what you can't know is that, I mean, until I tell you, is that I love it. I love being a parent. I have she's a month and a half old. Yep. I have 2 little boys, 2 and 5. And so, you know, being able to come here to Australia is the greatest paid vacation I have ever been on in my life.
Have there been any texts from the wifey saying, how's the publicity tour going? Coincidence? Maybe 7 weeks old.
Yes. Well, it's funny. She actually does say, she'll say, I mean, this morning was, gosh, I'm so mixed up with time, but it was, she had taken one of my sons to school, and she actually said, how are you enjoying your holiday? And I've been doing press since early morning, you know, I hope you're enjoying your time. So, like, yeah.
There, of course, is the fragrance Pinot Noir, which is beautiful. I've had a little spritz. And I must say, when you are a housewife, you like a little something to lift you in your day. Did you ever imagine that you'd be designing fragrances as well?
It's so funny. At 16 years old, working on my father's fishing boat, with my hat on backwards, there were many things that I envisioned that could happen in my life potentially. And being a perfumer, someone with his own brand of fragrances was not on my radar. Can you imagine how ridiculous that would have been for me as a
absolutely,
kid?
Particularly on a fishing boat, which has its own scent, you know.
Yes, it does, yeah.
I mean, I think you missed the opportunity to call it bubbly. What the heck? But, I mean, that's not Pinot Noir.
I've been really lucky with the... I really have been lucky with a group of people that, you know, when this first came, I had gotten an email from my manager, and he had said, do you have any interest in creating a fragrance? And honestly, I wrote back quickly and said, no, I don't. It was so far out of my comfort zone, and the only celebrity I had known, male, who had his own fragrance was Antonio Banderas. So it was so foreign to me, and I ended up going down and meeting with the perfumers, and I ended up saying, what I ended up saying to my manager and everyone else was, listen, I must be involved. If I'm going to go and speak about this, if they're going to put my name on it, it can't be something where they create a brand and then I go and hawk it. I couldn't do it. I didn't have the stomach to do it.
So you're in the lab?
I was, yeah. Oh. I really was. And you know what? There was more than just being in the lab, because I was even, I was pretty, it's funny, I'm not difficult to work with, but even the packaging was something that I really cared about. I really wanted to make sure that it's with anything I do, I want to make sure that there's integrity. Now this, what you're talking about here, I should tell you in context. This, I didn't create the same way that I had created the first fragrance called By Invitation. That fragrance, I had met them, I had gone and done it all, and the truth is, through the relationship, we had started to build the trust. And so when it came to having this, I think they earned my respect and my trust.
Well, first review is in. Love it.
You like it?
Delicious.
I like it too. For Canadians, I mean, if there are Canadians out there, I love that not only is it
Oh,
obviously
no,
a
I've
great
just
smell,
realised what it is.
It's a hockey puck.
It is a hockey puck.
Oh, get
You are hilarious.
It is not.
I didn't mean for
You
that
are
to happen,
funny.
but I am now forever grateful. They
Yeah,
have
yeah.
created a hockey puck.
Oh, that is wonderful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mate, we're so grateful you're here. It's lovely to see you in the flesh. You've got a flash visit across the country, of course. Please do not use Michael's brand new fragrance as a hockey puck.
No.
But we are giving away 10 signed copies, which you're going to do for us now, of the beautiful Peony Noir. If you'd like a chance to win, just head to our website. It's houseofwellness.com.au to enter. Stay with us, everybody. The legend has been here with us. It's been great meeting you. That's you, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And we'll be back with more right after the break here. Welcome back. Still rather excited. We were chatting to Mr. Buble. We were going to be besties, me and Mikey.
Stop it. He's so charming.
Wasn't he great? All right. Well, let's dive into some of your calls. In fact, this week we've got some of your calls lined up via Skype. Christine in Mossman. How can we help you out? And welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I am wondering, my question is, what can you do when you feel sort of overwhelmed and exhausted with life as a new parent? What can you do to help to feel better?
Everyone chime in.
Absolutely. There's nods all round here, Christine. Look, it's a matter sometimes of stepping back and just getting some things in order, because often as a new parent, order goes out the window. And you've just got to start looking about yourself a little bit more. Did you find with the arrival of children?
Yeah, it's really important to make sure that you give yourself even 5 or 10 minutes on your own, I think, because you've got something on you the whole time, this little creature.
Hard, isn't it?
You know,
You don't even get to go to the toilet.
No, so
Does that
you've
make
got to
sense,
give yourself
Christine?
time.
Does that all, I know it was fairly generic information, but so important to refocus
Really?
on yourself for a little while.
Yeah, that sounds good. Very good advice.
Lovely to have you with us. Thanks, Christine. I mean, this has been a fun show, jam-packed with vital info. We got a nice little foot rub.
Oh, I'm going back for some more reflexology. That was awesome.
You spoke to some beautiful women throughout the course of the
Yeah, wasn't that important?
Yes, be breast aware, ladies.
And know
Make
how
sure.
to do it, and also don't be scared. Go to your GP whenever you need to, and have a little check.
Yes.
And we're still bathing in the aura that was Michael Bublé, which was fantastic.
How's your Buble-itis?
I'm going to be okay, but I'll see you next week.
You're very feverish.
I've got a pill for that, actually.
We better run, team. Thanks so much. If you'd like more from the show today, just Google houseofwellness.com.au. We've got you covered. Next week, we're actually going to look into hair and what it really means to have a bad hair day. And if you're preparing for an exotic holiday, don't forget about your vaccinations, everyone, you jet setters, you. Thanks, Zoe. Thanks to the rest of our team. And thanks to our lovely friends at Chemist Warehouse as well. Hope you have a healthy and well week.